Good afternoon and welcome to Boulder Rotary Club. Would you please join Norma Portnoy in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Thank you. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now before we test, please, of the things we think,
say, and do,
is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you. And we'd like to introduce visitors today.
Yeah, please be seated and stay standing if you are a visitor or you have a guest.
Do you want to introduce her?
Camera's over here. Very pleased to introduce Erica Randall, our speaker today. You're going to have a wonderful time, I promise.
Do you have somebody to introduce?
Not now. Go
Okay. All right.
I'm very pleased to introduce Jamie McCoppin, who just started working in my firm on Monday. She is long-term going to replace Bill Rubin, standing over there with some guests. Bill is retired from my office this year, but he's going to come back and work for me a couple tax seasons and help train Jamie and to take over for him, which probably will never happen. But I hired Jamie principally because she's a whole lot smarter than I am, and I also believe that she is a Rotarian. We're just going to have to get her into a Rotary Club now. So.
I'm Bob Goodward from Reidsville, North Carolina. We're here visiting our son and daughter-in-law and his family, who live in the Gun Barrel area of Boulder, and we're pleased to be here. Played golf this morning right next door, the Ironworks or Flatiron Golf Course. At any rate, very nice. Thank you.
On behalf of Sally Brown, the sponsor of our two guests, and I'm the co-sponsor, we welcome Jill Drury and Stuart Drury to my right, and their extensive bios you can read. It's now the 2.5 week on the RIB, so we hope by next year, no more guests.
Hello there. My pleasure to reintroduce Jack Bayless, who it's his third time visiting today, and he has been a Boulder resident for 4 years, moved here from a Dayton, Ohio suburb, works for Edward Jones as a financial advisor, and found his own way to Rotary, and has been working with Darla Sheath, who asked me to pinch hit for her today in her absence. So, Jack, welcome, and we'll be here to support your application. Thank you, guys.
So it's my honor to introduce Joe Neguse, our congressperson from the Colorado 2nd, who Judy got to come, which was pretty amazing. And Joe and I have known each other for a long time, since Joe was just starting out a New Era, which is a nonprofit registering new voters. As a first-year representative, I just want to say Joe has taken on more than I think 2 or 3 other representatives would have taken on, and doing it all well. But what most impresses me about Congressperson Neguse is that his priority, as my conservative friend and Boulder Rotarian likes to say, is to build bridges and not wedges. So he works with the other side of the aisle. Lastly, something personal. Joe's parents and my grandparents were both refugees, and they were discriminated against to the point of genocide. And they both left their native country and came to America, where they built, and I would suggest, a successful country because of refugees like us. Thank you. And Dorothy is going to finish for us.
Joe, it's wonderful to have you here. I'm Dorothy Rupert, and basically, in one good sentence, I'm Joe's grandma. So we met when he was student body president. He came and talked to my class when I was teaching at CU, and we just became very close friends. So I got to marry them, he and Andrea, and they now have an almost one-year-old, of course, gorgeous baby, my grandchild, great-grandchild. So it's great to have you here, and I hope we are going to get you back to be a speaker. I'd love for everyone here to meet Joe. He's every bit as great as he appears to be, and maybe even more so.
So I have several guests today. Over to my right, to your left, is Randy Dunbar, who is the father of this beautiful young lady here, Alex Dunbar. She went to Ryla Week 2. And on my left, your right, is Shamel Ahmed and her daughter Ziba, who went to Young Ryla. Which week was it? Week 2 also. So they're going to say a few words about their experiences. So first, Alex.
So at Ryla, I learned that there are totally different type of leaders, and every single type of leader has strengths and weaknesses. And when you come together as a team, you can kind of address those strengths and weaknesses and really work together. And what truly inspired me about Ryla was that the leaders who were my junior counselors, who I looked up to all week, we found out at the end were the exact same age as us, and that really truly inspired me and led me to believe that like I can inspire someone else too. Like it's not just older people, like people my own age were truly inspiring me. And what also was super inspiring was every single member in my group, because I would have never met them otherwise, because they're from all over Colorado and Wyoming, and I got to be so close with every single one of them, and they really truly inspired me from all their different backgrounds. And I will forever take away all the learning experience that I had from Ryla, and I think it will completely help me with my college experience next year. And yeah, thank you.
Thanks so much. And here we have Ziba Ahmed. And just a reminder that Young Ryla is for those students who are entering 8th grade. So she's now in 8th grade and went to Young Ryla Week 2, right?
Well, first off, I'd like to say thank you to everyone for sponsoring me to go to this I'd like to say life-changing camp. And one of the biggest things I took away from this camp was that the best thing a leader can do is listen. And I think there's a lot of groups out there that have the potential to change their community, but they can't listen. So I'd like to share that with the rest of my school. And also on a personal level, one of the things I learned from my junior counselor that I really looked up to was that I was enough, and that I didn't have to prove anything for anybody but myself. And she struggled with something similar to that, and I would like to help other people who are struggling with something like that too. So, thank you.
Hi, I'm Timby Tinsman. I'm from Boulder Valley Rotary Club, and I'm here today to ask you some help. And I'm on the program, so I will talk later why I'm here. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Don Walford. I'd like to introduce Pastor James Ray from Second Baptist Church. James and his congregation have helped us to distribute since February 4th, 2,100 pounds of extra Spice of Life food after every meal. And we're going to keep going, I think. Here, say hello.
Okay, I'll say more than hello. Don asked me to just be brief, and I told him you're talking to a Baptist pastor, so I'm not quite sure that's even possible, but I just... I just, again, just want to let you know, I'm James Ray, Second Baptist Church's pastor, and we are putting the food to good use, so I just thought it would be necessary for me to just come here in person and to thank you, and to also let you know that, again, that we are putting it to good use, and we hope that we can continue to do so. Thank you so much.
Is there anyone out there who is too shy to remain standing and be introduced? Hearing none, we'll move on. Okay, if you noticed on the raffle table, we have now 2 sets of tickets for the next 2 CU Buffs game. The CSU game on August 30th and the CU Nebraska game on September 7th. And the high bidder will take home the CSU tickets today. And then we will have the Nebraska tickets up for bid again on our meeting on September 6th. And I encourage you to get into the spirit of the occasion, which is to raise money for our scholarships that our club awards every year. Also, continuing with a sports theme, we have, Judy Harriet has managed to get 40 tickets for the Rockies-St. Louis Cardinal game on September 11th, which is a Wednesday night. These tickets, unlike the Buffs tickets, you don't have to bid on. You just have to ask to go and tell Judy that you want to go to the game and lock down a ticket. And those tickets will be available on September 6th for everyone who talks to Judy. The next thing I want to bring to your attention is Wine into Water. It's tomorrow, and there are still some spaces available. It's going to be at the home of Anne Marie and Scott Reeder. And if you want to go, please contact Anne Marie if you've freed up some time. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm going to be one of 5 or 6 table captains, and I had them all stand up last week, so I won't do that again. But one thing I wanted to let you know is because of where Ann and Scott's house is in the mountains, we're doing a shuttle system from the 4-mile trailhead, which is just west of Broadway on Lee Hill Drive. And if you have questions about that, you can see me or Mike Brady. Who else is a shuttle driver tomorrow? Brad Weasley, Deborah Kelly. Okay, so don't let transportation be the reason you're not there tomorrow. Next, we have Michael McHale to tell us about the Day of Caring.
Good afternoon, everyone. We're getting close. We're about 3 weeks away from the Day of Caring. We'll be dark that day, so everybody has an opportunity to participate in the Day of Caring. On your table, we've put out a sign-up sheet. On the front of the sheet lists the 5 projects that are left. We need 22 more folks to sign up. On the back is where you can sign up. If you have any questions for me, you can go ahead and put them on the back of the sheet, and I'll respond back to you. And just shortly after the Labor Day break, we'll be sending out more information as to where your assignment is and the opportunities you have. This is a great way for us as a club to give back to our community and see the great work that nonprofits are doing in our community. So I really strongly encourage you to sign up, and thank you.
Michael, why do we only need 22 more people to sign up?
Well, the good news, bad news is we didn't have a very large showing, so we've reduced the number of slots that we have, but we've already got about 40 people signed up. Okay. 2 companies have also signed up some of their employees to represent us as a club. And so if you have folks at your company who would like to participate, we'd be happy to have them join us. There's always more slots out there if we have a great demand to do this. So Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
All right. Tinbet Tinsman, who introduced herself, has an announcement she'd like to make about an event her club is hosting.
Thank you, John. Hello again, and my name is Tinbet Tinsman. I'm from Boulder Valley Rotary Club. I'm here to announce our Beer Fest. Maybe you can see it on your projector. and it's going to be September 7, all day. And the reason I'm here is to give you a very good price. And yes, normally you can see how expensive it is. And if you buy it today from me, for general entry, it's going to be $200 for 10 tickets, or $350 for VIP ticket for 10. And please see me after the meeting is over, and I have the ticket for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So it sounds like that's a tailgating opportunity for the CU Nebraska game on the 7th, if you don't want to tailgate at Folsom. Let's see here. And we're going to skip the next announcement and postpone it till the next meeting. So we now have a couple of blue badge transitions, and we want to recognize these folks. So will Nancy Billica, Brian Vickers, Bill Anderson and Jim Umland, and Carl Kurtz and Cassidy Murphy, if you're all here, please come up to the stage. Want to go first? Sure. All right.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm constantly amazed by how impressive the group of Rotarians we have here is, and the person I'm going to introduce now is no exception. Nancy has lived in Boulder since 1993, where together with her husband Brian Vickers, she has engaged in work, community life, raising 2 daughters, and enjoying life. Nancy is a member of the political science faculty at the University of Colorado Boulder, where she teaches courses in environmental policy and American politics and coordinates the department's internship programs. Nancy has a long history of collaborating with a variety of research and nonprofit organizations focused on environmental issues and human rights, including EcoCycle, the Institute for Environmental Solutions, and the Urgent Action Fund for Women's Human Rights. She has also worked on grassroots environmental grant initiatives in Africa and India. Nancy grew up in Southern California, received her undergraduate degree from UC Berkeley and her PhD from Harvard University. She started her professional life as a research assistant in the US Senate. She has had lots of travel adventures and loves being outdoors in nature. She and Brian are just back from 5 weeks in Africa, where they visited their daughter, who serves in the Peace Corps in Zambia. Since joining Rotary, Nancy has been active with the World Community Service Committee, the Preserve Planet Earth Committee, and the Program Committee. Please help me welcome or re-welcome Nancy Billica.
And Carl is your sponsor, correct? Yes. Carl.
Hi. Just to clarify, Bill Anderson is co-chairing the Red Badge Committee with me this year, and as I mentioned last week, John has asked one of us to do these reintroductions from Red Badge, and hence that's why we're doing that. And Brian is here, Brian Vickers is here alone. Cassidy Murphy's his sponsor, but she's traveling and will be for several weeks to come, and Brian couldn't wait to get his hands on that blue badge, so he said, let's just go forward before I am not eligible anymore. Brian founded a company called Renewable Projects, LLC in 2017, combining his desire to work for a more sustainable world and his passion for project leadership. Renewable Projects plans and implements project management systems. And prior to founding Renewable Projects, Brian worked in the environmental services and renewable energy construction fields. When he's not working, he enjoys spending time with family and friends, volunteering in his community, and exploring new places. He grew up in California, met his wife Nancy, who we just met again, at UC Berkeley. And after living in Virginia, Arizona, and Massachusetts, Brian and Nancy moved to Boulder in 1993. Together, they've shared and continue to share many adventures, including raising two daughters, Rebecca and Melinda, who are now pursuing their own adventures. Rebecca and her husband currently traveling in China, and Melinda serving in the Peace Corps in Zambia, which we just heard. Wonderful, wonderful. Brian serves as a board member for the Grid Alternatives supporting energy access for all, and volunteers as a project manager and disaster action team supervisor with the Red Cross. Since joining Boulder Rotary, he's been active in the Preserve Planet Earth Committee. So on a red badge note, I'd like to remind you all our next breakfast is September 5th, the first Thursday, and Brian has been one of our most dedicated members over the last 6 months, regularly attending. And just to close on a personal note, I'll say that for fun, which you didn't mention, if you ever want to invite a semi-professional game player to your place or a game night, he's your man. Thanks.
On a personal note with Brian, I think the guy has a lot of energy because we went on a hike a few weeks ago up at the Gregory Canyon trailhead, and like the other people on the hike, I drove my car up to the trailhead and then did the hike. But Brian rode his bicycle all the way from South Boulder up Baseline Road and up the road to the trailhead, which really impressed me and kind of threw down the gauntlet. Now I have to try and do that sometime, but I don't know when. Okay, so let's do a raffle winner. I'm going to let the excitement build for a second. All right, the winning ticket holder is holding a ticket that has the number 2252772. Ah, you know, I thought you were good with numbers. All right, Michael Weatherwax, you can just stand up and throw your arms up in the air and say, woohoo. All right, thank you, Michael. All right, speaker introduction, Marian Giras. Wow. Eric, I want to say thank you for showing us an aspect of the University of Colorado Boulder that we don't always read about or hear about. And as someone who has been described as having two left feet, I will be leaving here enlightened today. Thank you. Let's see here. August birthdays, Virgos, I understand.
Yes, for your entertainment, all the birthday people have decided to do a modern dance for you. Yeah, I'm just kidding. We have three birthday people here. I'll start with the lady, Sharon Nails.
Hi, I'm Sharon Niels, and my birthday's Wednesday. This will be the last year I can call myself a 60-something, a little daunting. I want to thank Sue Deans for sponsoring me at Rotary and looking forward to another interesting year.
Nathan Womack.
Howdy, everybody. My name is Nathan. Last couple days ago, I was having lunch with Nancy Chin Wagner, and I figured out by the end of the meal what my next big why is, the reason that I'm going to push, what I'm going to stretch for as I enter into my 44th year. I want to personally be recognized or responsible for bringing in 25 new members to this group in the next year. And when I explained this to Nancy, I figured that the only way that I could do it is via the internet. Basically, Google AdWords. Who here uses Google? You see your ads, okay, they progress, they follow you through, right? You've probably been using the internet, do research on a project. 6 days later, you see that product on a different page. So my guesstimate is with about $10,000 a month, for about a year, we can bring in about 25 members. Now that I got your attention, because money is involved, did you know that there's a grant that Google offers that gives nonprofits $10,000 a month in ad revenue, or AdWords? Okay, that grant, my friend Michelle Dye runs a company that specializes in getting this grant. She knows the ins and the outs. I actually hired her for another nonprofit that I'm a part of, Realities for Children, and to get this grant, and in just under a month we qualified for it, and we're currently using this grant to promote Realities for Children with $10,000 of ads throughout the Boulder County. She's not free, however, she does offer a guarantee that if she does all of the work, submits all of the applications, and it gets rejected, she does not receive payment. Her services are $1,000. If we get the grant, we get $10,000 a month for the entirety that we're in the program. If she doesn't get the grant, we don't pay. So here's my ask today. I'm willing to front $1,000 and get this grant started if I can get 100 Rotarians to pledge, not to pay, but to pledge $10. All I'm asking for is a $10 pledge. If we get the grant, I'll call in the pledges, give it to Rotary, they'll pay for it. If we don't get the grant, you put your signature down, no harm, no foul, I get my $1,000 back. So my ask today is for 100 Rotarians to pledge $10 a month, or $10 one time to get the grant. Thank you.
Glenn Linson, happy birthday.
Thank you. Very, very glad to be here today. I must say I have not seen that much movement since the last time I tried to bait a hook.
Happy birthday, everybody. Be sure and sit at the birthday table on your birthday.
All right, next up, we have a video announcement from the Brown family.
Hello, Rotarians and guests, and thank you for being here today. What a great day in Boulder.
And tomorrow night is Wine to Water. The last chance to sign up is today.
And Sunday, why don't you come out and walk for unity with Merrill Glustrom and Bob Stunkel. Meet them at Second Baptist Church on Sunday and be walking from 4 to 6 p.m. Peace.
Boulder Valley Beer Fest.
Hey, don't mind if I do, Sal.
It's September 7th from 2 to 6:30 p.m. in Superior, and it's hosted by the Rotary Club of Boulder Valley.
Hey, didn't we spawn that club? Mother, that's one of our clubs.
It is, and there's also going to be a chili fest on that day.
Hey,
Join us.
Let's turn out and support them.
Please join hosts Dorothy Rupert and Anne-Marie Reeder at the Boulder Rotary Club social event on Sunday, September 8th from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Fraser Meadows Hilltop Room. Guests are welcome to join you. Please bring a bottle of wine or a plate of hors d'oeuvres to share. You're welcome to check out the newly renovated, remodeled Fraser Complex while you're there. RSVP to Anne-Marie.
That sounds like a fun event, Sally, but it might be after we're at the Zone Institute, September 5th through the 8th at the Denver Marriott Tech Center Hotel. It's going to be a fantastic time with 2 countries, 14 states, 30 districts, and you representing Rotary.
Join us for the Day of Caring. BRC is aiming for 100 volunteers from Boulder Rotary Club on September 13th. Sign up by filling out the volunteer registration on your table or contact Michael McHale.
You're all well-read Rotarians, so it's time to start reading for Rotary. The Boulder Rotary Book Club will meet on Monday, October 14th from 5 to 6:30 p.m. down in Denver, and the book is The Newcomers. Contact Sue Deans for more information.
And don't forget, next week we're dark for Labor Day.
Hey, and don't forget, you can't wear white after Labor Day unless it's winter white.
Or if you're Bob Stunkel.
This is the end of the announcement video. We usually have something funny, something cute, something to make you laugh, but I want you to watch this instead. everything is pointing towards a polio-free declaration in Africa in 2020. Have a great weekend, Rotarians.
Wow. All right. Thank you, Daryl and Sally. And thank you for doing that thing on the polio, because I got an email about that, and you did a lot better job than I would have done if I just read the email to the group here. So we have some thank yous to hand out. Our past president greeter, Jack Rummel. Our red badge greeter, Don Walford. Member and guest registration, Alessandro Sachs. Birthday boy, Glenn Lenson and Gloria Thrall. Scholarship raffle, Willie Knierim. Our audio-visual team, Fred Hull, Lynn Johnson, John Lehman. Vanessa, Mead, Club, Administrator, Extraordinaire. Thank you. As Daryl and Sally said, we're dark next Friday, which means that we have to award the CSU Rammy tickets this week. And our high bidder with a bid of $100 is Linda Niels. Linda, thank you. This is $100 that's going to go to our scholarship fund. And just to make things more confusing, we're dark next week, and the week after, we're not here. We're across the street at the Avalon. So we'll see you all then. Meeting adjourned.